Okay, so it's now 10:30. Officially calling the meeting to order at 10:30. We can all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence for our recently departed residents, friends, and neighbors, as well as those suffering around the world. Moment of silence, please. Thank you. Okay, roll call of board members, please.
Michael Messina,
Present.
Ed Whitman,
Present.
Mary Adler,
Present.
Carol Butterworth,
Present.
Charlie Rock.
Present.
Okay. We're now going to seek approval from the last two meetings that we had at the minutes, and this is something that the board will vote to approve the minutes. So, all those board members in favor of approving the minutes from the 11/21/24 minutes, we need someone to first, the motion to approve those minutes.
I move to accept the minutes of November 21st meeting.
I second the motion.
Okay, all those board members that approve the minutes, please state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, state nay. The ayes have it. The minutes from that meeting are now approved. There was a second meeting that we did from the budget meeting, so we're going to approve those minutes as well. So may I please have a motion for the budget meeting done on December 3rd, 24, to have the minutes approved? May I have a motion?
I move to accept the December 3rd budget presentation minutes.
Okay, may I have a second?
I second the motion.
All those board members in favor of accepting the minutes state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, state nay. The ayes have it. The approval of the budget meeting minutes from 12/3 is now passed. Okay, that's a lot of formality stuff. Okay, we have one more thing to discuss, and that is in terms of motions. So we have a motion today that the board will be voting on. Today we will have a single motion to record. This is in regard to the pass-through charge to each home lot owner in the amount of $103.34 for the township RoboCans pass-through needed to transition from private collection, waste management, to the township collection. So we will do by roll call. It's a special vote by the board. So we will roll call and we will have votes for accepting this motion.
Michael Messina,
Aye.
Ed Whitman,
Aye.
Mary Adler,
Aye.
Carol Butterworth,
Aye.
Charlie Rock.
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. The ayes have it, and that motion is approved. Again, this is for the pass-through charge for the garbage cans. Just to explain that a little bit, we signed a contract with the township. The HOA is going to pay the township the $95,000. The cans are in production now. And now, the township doesn't want your checks individually, so we wrote that check, and now we're getting this reimbursed to the HOA as a pass-through fee for the cans. Everybody got that? Okay, good. Okay, and that's it for motions. Continuing on with the President's report, I am pleased to announce that there has been a restructuring of titles in regard to our office staff. I am equally pleased to announce that Alyssa has been promoted from her present position to the position of Assistant Manager.
Yay.
That was nice. Okay, so the next order of business. The board has the responsibility of sharing any and all information that impacts individual home lot owners. To that end, in an effort to be totally transparent, we have a representative from our contracted legal firm as a guest speaker today. Michael Kalulak from McGovern Legal Services will discuss lawsuits that have been filed against the HOA. Please understand that any lawsuit against the HOA impacts each and every homeowner because inevitably that cost is passed through. That being said, I will leave that. In one lawsuit, Mike is going to go over, there are a couple of lawsuits pending, and instead of the board going into the detail, we'd rather have a lawyer do it because we're not lawyers. Okay? So I'd like to invite Mike up.
Good morning, everybody. Again, Mike Kalulak from McGovern Legal Services, the association's law firm. And yes, there are 2 lawsuits pending right now filed against the association. And I can't get into the litigation strategy or really much about the lawsuits, other than just to let you know what's publicly been filed thus far. And again, there's 2 of them. So when somebody files a lawsuit, they'll file it in Ocean County Courthouse. And you can file in various different Superior Court sections. You can file in the Law Division, which has no statutory cap, or you can file in Special Civil Part or Small Claims, which are lower monetary cap lawsuits. So the first one, again, this is public record, so I'll just read the complaint. I'll give you a heads up as to who filed and who they filed against, and I'll let you know who's dealing with it. So the first one was filed by Ms. McClellan against L.N. Rothberg and Son, the association's one of their vendors, as well as Lake Ridge Homeowners Association, Inc., the association. This particular matter pertains to a negligence relating to an alleged personal injury claim. And the association's insurance carrier has appointed defense counsel, and they will just be defending that lawsuit. So at some point, it'll get resolved, hopefully, between the association via its insurance carrier and that plaintiff. And then once that's resolved, we can just let the membership know that that lawsuit is no longer pending, but we can't get into any other back and forth discovery, updates, or anything like that. The second lawsuit was filed by Mr. Morrison and Ms. Serta Morrison against Lake Ridge Homeowners Association, Inc., Mary Adler, Carol Butterworth, Michael Messina, Charlie Rott, and Edward Whitman, as well as various John Does, which just leaves it open for other defendants to be added. This particular lawsuit was filed in the Special Civil Part, which has a lower statutory cap, and our office will be defending this matter. The underlying merit behind, or claim behind this, pertains to the capital contribution fee. That's the fee that's paid by new purchasers, or purchasers of units in the community. The association charges a capital contribution, and the question here was whether or not it was properly charged to this owner for purchasing a second unit in the community. Again, I can't get into any more detail other than that, to let you know that these are pending, and once they are resolved, we can let the membership know that those 2 lawsuits have been resolved. I'm not familiar with any other suits that have been filed. Are you familiar with any over the past years that have been pending? No. So those are the only 2 lawsuits that we're dealing with. And again, I can't provide too much detail other than to just let you know once it gets resolved. All right, I believe if there are questions and answers, I think we will go to wait until after the meeting. Thank you.
Again, like we normally do, when we conclude the business portion of the meeting, then we will open up for questions and answers. So we'll continue on with the meeting as we normally do. So, looking towards 2025, just a brief overview. To be perfectly honest, the board has not decided on any major projects at this particular point. What we have been mentioning in the past has been the possibility of what's called RFID. That's your gate access into the community. Stands for Radio Frequency Identification Device. It's an easy pass to get into the development, to put it in simple terms. That has not been decided to happen this year because of financial things that were out of our control. Again, as an example, we had to redo the entire structure of the clubhouse and annex, which cost in excess of $350,000 unexpected money. So the board has made a conscious effort to try to hold back on a lot of different projects. One of them is the 5th phase of the roadways. We've now passed that up yet another year. We're trying to recoup some of the money because, again, we had $350,000 worth of expense. So the easy way to do that is to try not to spend any more money, right? Because we can invest our money, and it amounts to, and I always turn this way to finance people, somewhere in the realm of $420,000 can be recouped by not spending money in a year. Wouldn't that be nice to build our coffers up so that if something else comes up? So we're not planning on doing the paving, and it involved a large section, probably, I'm going to say a number, probably going to be around $1.8 million. And we're going to curtail that to this year for 2025, and then later on in the year, depending on what we do financially, we'll consider doing that. The RFID had a price tag of approximately $65,000 last time we checked, and the board really hasn't decided about that as of yet. So there is one project that's been recommended by our engineers, and that is our retention walls. We have several retention walls throughout the community, and they're starting to lean the wrong way over the course of time. So at some point, we will have to deal with that, and whether that's at the end of this year or the beginning of next year, because we can't afford to do them all at once. One length is 350 feet long, 5 foot high, 4 foot high. And that in itself could cost in excess of $200,000. So you gotta go with the stuff that's really gonna bite you, kind of, and we're still deciding on that. But there are no other major plans of spending any large sums of money. That being said, Ray will go into a little bit more detail, but that's kind of it for my report. I normally report on the pool, and the pool, we did transition to a new pool company and kept the same lifeguards. So that worked out very well. And that ended up being a cost savings of some $25,000 a year, which we're always looking to save money because, did you see your gas bill lately? Oh, God. Okay, so as things go up, if you don't start trying to drag the number down, then, the fees just go up astronomically. So I didn't mean to bring up the gas thing. I did see mine, okay? That being said, I have nothing else to report. We're going to move on to the Vice President report. Ned?
Thank you, Mike. Good morning and welcome. This will be a fairly short report. There's not much to report from the grounds committee because it's winter and they're at rest. So, municipal trash update. The transition date whereby they will pick up your old garbage robo-cans and deliver the new ones is tentatively set around the week of April 1st. So those cans will be transitioned at that point, around April 1st. Some people have requested 96-gallon cans, but there's a problem there. The township has made an order of the 64-gallon cans, and it doesn't look like the 96-gallon cans are going to be available from the township. If you want a 96-gallon can, the only thing you can do is go out and buy one yourself, but you've already paid through the fee for the 64-gallon can, so 96 gallons is going to be a bit of a problem. The last thing I have is that the Views, I'm liaison to the Views, and the Views has requested from now on all articles be submitted as an electronic document, preferably a Word document. If there are people who are writing for the Views who have trouble with that technology, office staff is willing to help transcribe that into a form acceptable to the viewers. But from now on, please submit everything via email, electronically, okay? All right, thank you.
All right, we'll now move on to the treasurer report by Mary.
Good morning. For the 12 months ending December 31st, 2024, our net loss was $695. The principal factors that contributed to this unfavorable variance were: surplus carryover for 2023 was $31,117, better than the budget. This was actually offset by lower contributions of the closing of home residents of $12,600. We had 47 and we budgeted for 56. Our expenses were $56,598 over budget for the 12-month period, due primarily to higher legal fees of $31,000 and to higher than budget landscape maintenance cost of $27,495, and to higher trash removal costs due to lower reimbursements from the township, partially offset by lower than budget snow removal cost of $17,000, which leaves us as a balance sheet as of December 31st, 2024, our cash and investment funds totally approximately $2.8 million, most of which is in the replacement fund, which had a balance of $2 billion. The funds held are in CDs insured by the FDIC, U.S. Treasury notes, and money market funds, and some funds are held in cash for emergencies. Thank you.
Okay, so you heard that there was a number $2.8 million. So to reiterate what I said before, if we spend 1.8 on the roads, that leaves us with what? That's an easy answer. 1 point. So we're trying to pass that along and get the coffers built up better before we spend that money. That being said, we'll now move on to the secretary report from Carol.
Thank you, Mike. As board liaison for the Documents and Policy Committee, I am happy to report that the committee developed 14 questions regarding the bylaws and asked that the lawyers respond to these items when they review our bylaws. Recently that was done, and the committee was very much impressed with the knowledge and service of our new lawyers, who also made some recommendations to comply with current law. A lot has happened over the last 20 years. For example, our voting is electronic, our notices are electronic, reducing the hefty postage and printing bills. Steve Agresta and his committee now will meet with the board of directors in order to implement various attachments and recommendations. Regarding security, those teenagers have not returned to the front gate. If they do, our cameras are in position to get them. Thank you.
So if you remember last year, we did a review of the restricted documents, which are the top of our governing documents. And that wasn't done since 2006. So we did that, and now the next thing to happen is a review of our bylaws, which weren't done around the same time. So we are making an attempt to bring current our rules and regulations. So that's what that means. All right, we will now go on to Charlie Rott's Director at Large report.
Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? Good. The Architecture Committee is still moving forward, taking care of applications. Of course, this time of year, there's not many folks doing anything to the exterior of their homes. Decorations, holiday decorations should have been down by Wednesday the 15th. We do have a little extension, so please, if you have anything left of the holiday season, please have them removed by this weekend so you can avoid getting a violation letter. One other thing that I would like to mention, I don't know how many of you knew Bob Eagle and his wife Esther, but they have moved from here. And they moved up north, I believe. Phil, told me they moved up north. But Bob Eagle, with the 13 years that I was with the Architectural Committee and the last 3 under Phil, he was a volunteer for 16 years with the Architectural Committee. And I've been told that also he dedicated his time, that much time, to the Grounds Committee also here. So Bob was a really good asset. I know I worked close with him, Phil and I. He was always there, always willing to do things. So just a little shout out, little kudos. We're going to miss Bob and Esther. They both volunteered quite a bit. The architectural standards are just about ready for print. I think Phil might be a little upset, but of the 4 issues that we asked the ARC to tweak a little bit, the board agreed with 3 of those. And we still have a question or 2 on means of transportation, which I will get with Phil and with documents and policies, just to straighten out, again, one means of transportation. I'm not going to go into exactly what it is, but we'll iron it out. And Phil, I promise you, we'll get to print those ARC standards very, very quickly and very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. We'll now move on to the manager's report, which will be given by Ray.
Good morning, all. Happy New Year. We've been busy at year end, usually cleaning up the office and our desks, cleaning out our files for 2024 and preparing for 2025. One of our first issues, as you know, Erin Slapoy has been on temporary disability for an illness. She's been out for several months. We've been going to TEP agencies here and there and really haven't found a fit. But this week we have Anissa Lavaseur. Please stand up and say hi. She's been doing a great job, and we'll keep you around for a little bit longer. Just to go over some closing of 2024, the 2326 East Asheville, the HUD home, has been cleaned up. We did have to take pretty much legal push on the HUD management company to come in and take care of the exterior, which they were responsible for. The home was partially power washed and the beds were taken care of. The only issue left standing was the removal of the dead stump in the front and the planting of a street tree. We were waiting for a mark out, but as our vendors are doing this work, we are charging back the HUD company to have this work completed. With landscaping, we had a year-end meeting with Meticulous Landscaping, the board and I, regarding the first year service, the problems, deficiencies, high points, and we went through some of the issues we would like to see added to the 2025 service. Again, they are contracted for 2 years. But additionally, the board and management met with additional landscape and snow removal companies. Most recently, Good Mowing, Down to Earth Landscaping, and we called back Turf Masters to talk to them, just to discuss future opportunities should the need arise. We have, as was mentioned, the retaining walls to be taken care of. The first location would be out in Crestfield, Vicari Avenue, which seems to be the worst for wear. We do have a couple years to work on that. The engineer did suggest that we wait till colder weather, winter weather, as colder and affordable. Because we have to take down the wall, and we're hoping the ground stays solid there while we put up the new reinforcements. So earliest we're looking would be, if agreeable, the winter, early winter 2026. but we'll be working on that. We did receive proposals from KidCon Engineering, who did the study on the original wall. We have their proposal that finance and the board will review going into the end of the year to plan this. We could go out to other engineering firms to get their bids, but the fact that we spent money with KidCon to do the original study, and then this next process would be to prepare the specifications for work and going out to bid and reviewing the bid, it's probably more economical to stay with KidCon this time around. But that we're working on. We received notification from the township that the manufacturer of the new RoboCan started last week. Once they get into the middle of the production, I'll have a better idea of the date where we can do transition. Again, these are the 64 gallon. They allotted 64 gallon cans for each of the 926 homes. As mentioned, there were no requirements for larger cans at this time. So that, as we keep getting the updates, we'll let everybody know. Also, we're waiting for that date, as we will have to purchase 2 new dumpsters for the clubhouse, and we want to have that purchase and delivery around the same time as the RoboCans. We had a vendor out there to look at minor repairs for tennis court handrail, some work on the shuffleboard courts, pool deck repairs where the expansion joints, the plastic expansion joints are coming up, cracking, causing trip hazards and injuries. We did receive proposal for time and material. We're just waiting on the time study so we can figure out how much time it's going to take, and then we'll be able to judge the costs. Some old news: the clubhouse landscaping was completed. The cladding landscaping after the completion of the cladding is scheduled for this spring. Preventative maintenance. On the annex, yes, sorry. Preventive maintenance plans for drain box inspection, the detention area, drain cleaning, those prices were already added into the 2025 budget. That will be scheduled in and around spring before the landscaping season starts. McGovern Legal Services is still in talks with the township attorney regarding municipal reimbursement. So far, we are up to date on 2024. We just invoiced for the end of 2024 trash and street lighting this week, so it remains to be seen what we receive back from the township. What is in dispute is balances owed for 2022 and 2023. As you know, insurance, we had new coverage come in. The previous coverage was canceled due to record slip and falls over the last 5 years. And that caused an increase, and one of the reasons the budget jumped, of increase of insurance costs from $82,000 to $103,000 this year. We are secure. We have now all policies to protect the association. And just this week, we completed the liability insurance inspection of all the amenities, and we finished the workman comp audit for 2025. As we said, the activities coordinator position has been filled, and we did have one final thing. The government committee met last week, and one of the topics of discussion was the upcoming Toms River Fire budget vote, and the committee has asked that David Lechner come up and give a little information on the upcoming budget that most residents may not be aware of. David?
Dave, you want to go up here? You want to come up here?
Hello. Hi, my name is David Lechner. I live at 2968 Fieldcrest Lane. I've been a resident here for a little over 8 years.
We can't hear you.
You can't hear me? How's that? Okay. What I'd like to just give you some information that coming up is our fire budget for 2025. And it's the amount raised by taxation is going to be about $3.9 million, which is not that much more than 2024. But the average home, let's say $500,000 home, pays $265 in fire tax annually. So what this comes to this year is going to be basically a $5 annual increase from 2024. The cost of equipment repairs has increased by $16,000 due to the age of our vehicle fleet, equipment, and district facilities. Also, the cost of insurance, like everybody else knows here, has gone up. The insurance companies for workman's compensation increased $45,000. The cost to outfit a firefighter now, just in turnout gear, is $6,331. That's just the gear for one firefighter. So that's gone up $1,000 this year also. The substation that we have, I don't know if people are aware of it, right behind the Rite Aid, we have a engine, a brush truck, and a tanker. Toms River was able to acquire a used ladder truck, which now is at the substation. And with the amount of growth that we've had in this north end and the amount of traffic that we have now, our call volume has gone up substantially. And also with the addition to a new apparatus, or another apparatus for our area, it'll help us out in fire prevention or fire fighting in this area. Last year, for our area alone, we responded to 1,339 calls. And that's including, well, we have two stations, one Station 30 and Station 29, which is over on Kettle Creek off of Church Road. So between the two stations, that's what our total call volume was. But just for our end, Station 30, we responded to 886 calls. And then on top of that, we have fire prevention for schools and local organizations and various township events, including National Night Out, downtown events, and other, anytime that anybody calls, like say Lake Ridge for a 100-year-old birthday party, we respond to, showing up for that. Also, I just wanted to tell people about the upcoming vote is, so January 25th is voter registration deadline for the fire district elections. The deadline, February 8th, is a deadline to apply for mail-in ballot by mail for fire district elections. February 11th is a deadline for applications to receive mail-in ballot for fire district elections for overseas and military. And February 14th is a deadline to apply in person for mail-in ballot. And then February 15th is the vote. Fire district elections is between 2 o'clock and 9 p.m. Pleasant Plains Firehouse on 40 Clayton Avenue and Silverton Firehouse on 15 Kettle Creek Road. And we would really appreciate everybody coming out to vote, because if the vote gets defeated or the budget gets defeated through this vote, it goes to Toms River, goes to Town Hall, and they can do whatever they want to do with it. So that, and they're not going to add to it, they're going to take from it. And so we need this equipment, we need the funds to keep our purchasing equipment and also to keep our equipment well maintained. So if everybody could just vote for it, I really appreciate it. And I want to put a shout out, thank you to the government committee for allowing this to happen. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Okay, so that is sort of the conclusion of the business portion of the meeting. So now I am looking for a motion to complete the business portion of this meeting. May I have a motion to complete this? May I please have a second?
I second it.
All right, all board members in agreement to ending the business portion, please state aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the business portion of the meeting is now closed. So now we'll go on to question and